This is a very unusual video for this channel, normally dedicated to electric car news, but today I'm gonna share something personal because a lot of you have been asking me about this in my live streams and in the comment section. So in this video, I'm going to share with you why I am leaving California and most likely the country and where I am going to next. And we're gonna start right now. Welcome to E4 Electric, where I normally reveal the truth behind the electric car headlines. So if you are interested in that, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. First, apologies to those of you who expected a regular electric car news video this week. I do have to tell you that it's been a pretty slow week, so I don't think you're missing out on much, but I promise you next week I will get back to telling you about whatever crazy thing Elon Musk said that week, or whether or not Toyota can keep their wheels on their new electric car. Secondly, I want to tell you up front that this is in no way an attempt to preach or change your mind about anything or anyone. This video is really just for two types of people. First, those of you who have followed my channel for a while and just want to know what's going on behind the scenes, since I've mentioned this a few times during my live streams. And two, people who may find this informative and maybe even inspirational, just in case if, much like me, they felt stuck wherever they're at in the last few years. Fair enough? So I am leaving California, though there is a bit of an asterisk there, because really I am leaving the country. But since I've only lived in California for the last 30 years since I came here, I've decided that before I make such a drastic change and move countries and have to learn a new language, I might as well check out the rest of this one. Since, you know, I just finally learned how to speak the local tongue. And so no matter where I go, at the very least, I know how to find a library. And that's what I'm going to do at the end of this month. Yes, in about a week, I will get into my ID4 with the glorious free unlimited charging and not so glorious software, but there is already a video on my channel about that, and I will just drive through small towns and big cities and stay there for a week or so. If I like it, I'll stay longer, maybe forever. If not, I'll keep going, and in a few months, I will probably find out whether or not I will settle somewhere still in this country or will head out to a different one. Now, before I tell you why someone who has immigrated here 30 years ago wants out, let me be very clear. I've had an amazing 30 years here in the United States. It's the only citizenship I have. I've been given a great life here. I've made some great memories with some great people in some great places. I have no regrets. If I was to wake up tomorrow morning as a 15-year-old me, because that's the age that I came here from Russia, I would do everything exactly the same. Maybe except for taking that acne medication that you see lawyers talk about on late night TV now. But besides that, I have no regrets. However, things have changed in the last several years. Think of it as yet another very contagious virus, if you will. It is the virus that attacks the part of your brain that used to make people feel obligated to treat their neighbors, their coworkers, their friends, and basically all other fellow human beings with common courtesy and respect. People don't do that anymore. A large number of people very suddenly turned into these disrespectful, inconsiderate, and just flat out shitty human beings. And I know what you're probably gonna say, oh Alex, there have always been shitty people around. And yes, technically that's true, but not in such numbers where that affects the entire culture. How do I know that? Well, see, not until very recently, we had to invent words for the new shitty behavior that we see everywhere now, like ghosting, or quiet quitting. Very soon, we're going to need another word for parking your car in two parking spots at once on purpose. So get on that, Webster. And this virus has spread pretty quickly and everywhere. And there is no mask you can wear or a vaccine you can get for that. And honestly, I'm tired of being a patient. And I will spare you my theory of what and how we got here to this demise of our culture. I mean, not to be too dramatic here, but I guess it's too late for that. But I don't really think I need to. I think you can easily figure it out on your own if you own a TV set or an internet connection. But with that said, I simply don't know how far this virus has spread and if there are other parts of this country that have immunity. So before I learned a new language and start flirting with the immigration officer at my local Thai embassy, let me see if I can find herd immunity somewhere else. But let's be honest, I would be insane to continue complaining about what's bothering me here in California and yet continue living here. That would make me a hypocrite or a US congressman. And don't get me wrong, there are amazing things about California. For example, the weather. And, well, at this point, I think that's just about it. But there are other things that do bother me. Now, before I get a little political here, if you don't mind, let me be very clear. I am not a Republican or a Democrat. I am not a liberal or a conservative. Very much like the way I cover electric cars, I am not on the side of any brand or a political party. I am on the side of the everyday people, regardless of what kind of a car they drive or who they vote for. So, what's bugging me about California? It's not the taxes. No, I don't mind paying taxes actually, but just like with everything else, when I pay for something, I expect something back. I know, crazy, but I think that's how money works. But as a small business owner here in California, and just as a law-abiding, tax-paying commoner, I don't feel like I do. Also, we are rich. We are a rich state. We got some money, and yet our homeless population, the majority of which struggle with mental health challenges, has grown into cities of their own. As a matter of fact, minutes away from here, where I live in my luxury apartment, you can't drive on some roads because homeless camps have spilled onto them. I'm not joking. And by the way, a block from that, an ice cream cone is like $10. That math does not add up. The crime has gone up, and the funding for our law enforcement departments has gone down. And the crime did not just get more common, which it did, but also more violent. I had to uninstall the Nextdoor app, which used to tell me which one of my neighbors lost their cat, because I could not sleep well at night if I read some messages from it before going to bed. And it had nothing to do with the monsters under my bed. We're friends. But don't think I don't understand that other states will have their own challenges. I do. I know in some states I'll be driving through, for example, an individual like me cannot get a PPO health coverage. Or in others, I've heard that it's illegal to sell Teslas, no matter how many headquarters you build in that state or jobs you provide for their residents. No state is perfect. Lastly, let me share something else, even more personal, that's been bothering me as a single man. More and more studies are showing, and more public figures and influencers are ringing the alarm bells about men and women not dating. That's right, relationships, marriages, sex, child birth rate are all down. Now, when I was a little boy, being a good man who is hardworking, educated, financially and mentally stable, maybe who is a homeowner, still has most of his hair in a good shape, a trait combination that was very much highly sought after by most women now isn't worth jack shit. It just isn't. Now, I know I'm missing a very important quality as a man. I don't have a neck tattoo, but that's only because I'm afraid of, unemployment. You see, with the help of the pandemic lockdowns, women have discovered that Netflix and laundry, to keep it PG-13, are much better and easier than to go out on Bumble dates, and men have discovered, and again, to keep it PG-13, that their internet connections are faster than ever, and neither one is willing to break the stalemate. And if you think that what I just said is plain cray-cray, you would be right, but that's what the reality is. And once again, I will spare you my theory about how we got here, because it is what it is. And again, I would be a fool to stay here. So I am going to become a temporary digital nomad right here in the United States. And if I realize that the virus has indeed spread beyond California, well, then I will be heading out to another country where hopefully the common courtesy and respect are still in, and neck tattoos are still out. If that happens, I will most likely be heading to Southeast Asia, because that does seem like a very likely place where there are still old school values, and by old school I mean like 2014. But there are other countries like Portugal that are making a pretty good case for themselves as well. Now, one thing I can promise you won't change is this channel and the videos that I make. Now, I already got banned by like half of the automakers from their media events for, the whole telling the truth thing, and I'm sure the other half will follow soon. So I don't really need to be at any particular place. So as long as I have an internet connection and a blank wall to point my cool blue light at, I'm good to go. All right, now you are up to date on everything that's going on with me behind the scenes. And if you would like to follow my journey, you can do so on Instagram stories. I am leaving in 1 week. And of course, if you live in any of those states that I will be driving through, reach out and say hi. All right, looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.